Equipment troubleshooting refers to the process of diagnosing and resolving issues that arise with common office devices such as computers, printers, scanners, staplers, copiers, and you name the rest. For administrative assistants, possessing these basic troubleshooting skills is essential. It is essential because it enables you to quickly address minor issues without needing technical assistance. Just imagine for yourself that you come in the morning to work, you switch on your computer, and the computer is not coming on, and there is nothing you can do other than pick up your phone and call a technician in frustration. You must therefore have some basic skills that would enable you to perform some troubleshooting. In this lesson, we will discuss essential troubleshooting techniques for some office equipment, such as identifying specific issues, performing basic maintenance, and utilizing available resources like user manuals. Here are some basic troubleshooting techniques and skills that you can develop. The first is to be able to identify the issue to narrow down the potential causes. This is very important. There are times that people have a problem, and if you ask them, what is your problem? They cannot tell what exactly their problem is. If you're sick and you go to the hospital and you cannot tell the doctor what your problem is, then obviously you agree with me that you will not be helping the doctor to help you. But if you are able to tell the doctor exactly what your problem is, then obviously the doctor will be able to diagnose, give you a proper diagnosis, and recommend a proper treatment for you. So identifying the specific issue, knowing what the problem is very important because it enables you to narrow down the potential causes. The second thing is for you to collect relevant details like error messages, recent changes, and so on. There are times that your computer gets into a state just because an external device was connected. You need to take note of those recent changes. Maybe you recently installed a software. You need to take note of that software that you recently installed. It is very important because when you take note of those softwares or those recent changes, you'll be able to know exactly what the problem is. So when you are able to closely monitor your computer, your system, your equipment in the office, as from the time it's working properly to the time that it's no longer working properly, you'll be able to know why it is not working properly. And with this knowledge, even if you're calling a technician, you give them the error message that is displayed. Even if you're searching online, you'll be able to know the error messages that displayed. You'll be able to know the recent changes that occurred with your equipment, and this will help you to find solutions. The third basic troubleshooting technique is for you to ensure that your operating system, your softwares, and your drivers are all up to date. There are times that your equipment can have a problem just because the drivers are not up to date, just because the software is not up to date or the operating system. You want to update to be up to date. And if you have taken note of all of this and you still have a problem, then you want to restart your equipment, be it a computer, be it a phone, be it a printer, be it a scanner, be it a copier, whatever, restart. Switch it off and on again. A simple restart can resolve minor issues with your equipment. And you also want to verify that all cables and connections are secure, that everything is securely connected, because this can often be the reason of your difficulty. Just imagine that your computer is connected loosely to the wall, and you're there, you do not have, it's not powering on, there's no electrical supply, and you're suffering. So you want to ensure that the connections are secure. Then you want to refer to user manuals or online resources for troubleshooting guidance. This is what happens to me. I do this personally. Whenever I acquire a new device, let me take a phone, for example. I take time to read its user manual. I take the time to read all the specifications, to see all the recommendations, to read the user manual very closely so that I understand what it is. I mean, taking the phone as an example, you all agree with me that when you buy a new phone, it's like you are going back to school. You are learning from scratch how to use a phone. If you have done your best and the problem persists, you will have to contact a technician, somebody who is specialized in resolving problems. He will come and use his knowledge with the information you have given them, and he will find out what the difficulty can be. Then, we're now going to take some practical examples of troubleshooting in office equipment. Let's take, for example, your computer is not coming on. What can be the problem? The first one is that there may be a power problem. So you want to ensure that the power cord is securely plugged in at both ends. The second, you want to make sure that the computer's power switch is turned on. There's some power switches that are found behind the computer. At times, you want to make sure that it is turned on before you move on. The third is to verify that external devices are properly connected. You have to test another power outlet to rule out electrical issues. Then, if electrical issues are not a problem, then you want to look for visible cracks or signs of damage to your computer. Like we said, the main reason behind your computer not turning on is electrical problem. If your computer has slow performance, if it is performing slowly, first thing you have to do is free up system resources. And you can do this by closing unused applications. And you want to also run a virus scan to detect and remove malware. You also you may desire to ensure that all device drivers are up to date. You also have to delete unnecessary files or move them to an external drive. And you can consider adding more memory if your computer frequently runs low on random access memory. Then in the event where your computer is freezing, if it is freezing, remember slow performance means it is working, but it's very slow in responding. But freezing means at times it gets stuck. It's no longer working. It's not responding to your clicks. This time around is different from slow. If it is freezing, first of all, you have to turn off the computer. So hold the power button to turn off the computer and restart the computer using the power button again. Then you check for system updates and install any available updates. Then you have to scan for malware and remove any threats. Then you can also delete unnecessary files or transfer them to external storage. And if the problem persists, you can seek professional help from hardware diagnosis. Then if you have software crashes. Software crashes is a situation where you open your software and it is not responding the way it has to respond. If you open probably your program and it is not responding the way it has to respond, then it is fair to ask software crashes. Maybe the software is maybe your application is going off and coming on again. Then you have to check to update the software to the latest version in order to fix the problems. You can also close and reopen the software to check if the issue persists. You can close other programs that may conflict with the software, and if the problem continues, you can uninstall the software and reinstall again. So these are the common problems that you can have with your computer and the solutions or the troubleshooting steps that you can take. Then with your printer, if your printer is not printing at all, you want to ensure that paper is loaded correctly in the printer. Check and gently remove any jammed papers and replace cartridges if the ink or toner is low. Then you can follow the manufacturer's instructions to clean the print head, or you turn off your printer completely, you wait for some minutes and restart it. So you have to verify settings like paper size and print orientation, verify that they are all correct. So these are things that you have to be looking for. Remember, there is no obvious solution. There are many reasons that can cause this. So you want to try many things to see which one is working. So what we are giving you are the common things you can easily check, and that is going to be to resolve the problem. Then if you have your scanner is not working well, obviously the scanner is to enable you convert a physical file into a digital file. So if it is not working well, you want to ensure that the scanner glass is clean and free from smugglers. You have to also make sure the document is correctly positioned on the scanner bed. And if this is done, you can turn off the scanner. You wait for some moments, they turn it on again. So you ensure that the drivers of the scanner, they are up to date, and you can perform a test scan to see if the scanner is functioning correctly. Notice that we are saying that for all of these equipments, you can obviously do just a simple restart and the problem will be solved. Then you have stapler problems. Staplers in our offices always have problems. If your stapler is not working well, the way you want it to work, check to see if there are jammed papers, means the papers that are stocked inside, or there are staples that are also stocked inside, and you want to remove these stocked staples or papers. Then you have to ensure that you are using the correct size and the type of staples. Then you can remove any dirt or debris inside the stapler, and then consider replacing old or damaged staplers. And if you have keyboard problems, remember that the greatest enemy to your keyboard is liquid. So you have to ensure that liquid does not spill on your keyboard. But if the keyboard is having problems and liquid did not spill on it, then you have to look for broken keys or loose cables. You have to use compressed air or a cleaning kit to remove debris. You have to use the keyboard with another computer to check functionality. And if it is malfunctioning, you may replace your keyboard. Then if your mouse has a problem, you have to ensure that your mouse is properly connected to the computer. You verify whether the issue is with the mouse by testing it on another computer. You can clean the sensor and the buttons with a cotton, or if this does not work, you can replace the mouse. And finally, you have the monitor. If your monitor is not working well, you can ensure that the monitor is connected securely, and you may check for other issues like the settings and make necessary adjustments. And if it is malfunctioning, you can replace it. So notice that most of the problems, their solutions are in checking if they are well connected, all right? Checking if their softwares are up to date or their drivers are up to date, restarting, and if these ones are not working, you replace it. But remember, we said from the beginning, identify what the problem is. There are times that you can come, you switch on your computer, the computer is not coming on, and it is because the monitor has a problem, and you are unable to know that it is the monitor that has a problem. You should know when a computer is working well, what signals you have, how to identify if it is the monitor that has a problem, or the power, the monitor that has a problem, or the central processing unit, or the keyboard, or the mouse. Which one is having the problem? You should be able to identify the problem. So that if you are calling a technician, you should not call a technician and say my computer has a problem. You should call a technician and say my keyboard has a problem, my mouse has a problem, my monitor has a problem. At least do some work already. All right. Thank you very much, and for being a part of this lesson in which we have discussed the importance of troubleshooting common office equipment. This skill is important for administrative assistants because they are expected to handle office equipment, and resolving common problems is essential. Thank you very much. Wish you luck in your journey.